G'day, guys. Welcome to another episode on the Highlevel Experience podcast. Our guest today is a digital marketing powerhouse who's been transforming the online landscape for over 16 years. As the founder of Custom Creatives, he has not only built a premier digital agency, but also helped countless businesses leverage the power of SEO, Facebook advertising, and cutting-edge funnels to turn clicks into loyal customers. What makes his journey even more compelling is his entrepreneurial spirit, which runs deep in his family, and his ability to craft creative solutions that level the playing field for small businesses competing with major brands. From pioneering the game-changing follow-up Monster system to being named the #1 digital marketing agency in Los Angeles by Clutch Agency multiple years in a row, his achievements speak volumes. So please welcome to the show, Rahul Alim.
Hey, thanks for having me. That was a great intro.
Great to have you, mate. Great to have you. Hey, starting off, like your career spans nearly 2 decades, like starting, with Custom Creatives back in 25. What inspired you to take the leap into digital marketing at such a pivotal time? And like, how did it, envision your role in shaping the industry?
Yeah, so the starting point was simple. I had no idea what I was doing, and I had a job that I was making really good money. And then one day I decided I wanted to quit. So I did. The reason I quit was because I was promised a raise, and I'm a pretty loyal person. So I would have probably been here to this day if they would have given me the raise they promised. But the unique part about me leaving and quitting is I started my business walking out of the company in their parking lot, closed my first deal. And then 3 years later, the company I left ended up hiring me for my largest account at the time to become their vendor. So inherently, in some weird way, I was only asking for approximately a $10,000-ish raise a year. And then once I got to become their vendor, they paid me $7 million. So the patience kicked in and the raise was worth it by being my own boss.
Very good. Very good. This is so relatable, like I working for other people, right? That's a topic on its own, right? Especially for us entrepreneurs, we are type of specimen that even if we work for somebody else, we like to look at ways how we can improve it, and we are generally more proactive, right? We like to take ownership of things, and fortunately, it doesn't always get rewarded for it.
No, sometimes being a little bit overly proactive has a negative impact, because then you may threaten that particular entrepreneur. But also at the same time, I mean, we are who we are. We want to do everything at a high caliber. We see things other people may not see just because of the experience. And a lot of it is formed from the environment we grew up in, the sports we may have played, the coaching, the teachers, the parental guidance, all that kind of stuff forms us. And it really doesn't come out of you. There's a lot of reckless kids like I was, where I was kind of defiant against education and all this shit. Where if somebody met me when I was like 12, 13, 15, 16, right around that era, they probably never think I'd be running a business. But all the education kind of spilled out once the moment of truth came. Something caught my interest of being an entrepreneur, but taking back all the lessons from my parents, the coaching, watching my parents run a business, their family friends running businesses, all of that stuff that I grew up around that I knew the information, I just wasn't ready for it. Once I was ready for it, it started to come out. I started to have brain recall, memory recall from those moments. And that's what helped me kind of get a little bit of a head start in entrepreneurship, is just being around other entrepreneurs growing up. Even though I didn't know necessarily what they did, it just kind of stuck in my brain a little bit and came out when the timing is right for me personally.
Yeah, that's excellent. I mean, this goes to say, you are the average of the 5 people you most hang out with. So this is good. Hey, what's your day to currently? Like, run us through your schedule. Just very curious.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an early riser, wake up, do my coffee, clear out some emails, follow ups on some cool deals that I'm kind of nurturing or trying to convert, do my coffee run and talk to the old retired group at Starbucks. And I learn from the 70-plus-year-olds because they've already lived life. I want to be like them when I'm 70. So I kind of get their battle wounds and learn about their lives and their struggles and how they made it through and stuff. So I'm always curious about those things. And then I just go to the gym, get my energy up, and then the day starts. I take a couple of calls with new leads that come in still. I like to keep my hands a little dirty in my agency world because I also teach this stuff in one of our programs as well. So I try to keep my hustle high, if you will. And then it's a people management game, making sure the customers are happy, give a random call here and there, make sure my team is on point. I'm elevating their game kind of like a coach. Even though I coach other agencies, I coach my own team as like a day-to-day level. I keep the standards as high as possible. And then that's pretty much a day in the life. I mean, I have outside things that have nothing to do with digital marketing or AI or anything like that. Just like real estate, remodeling my house and dealing with vendor management. I just have fun being in the game of improving something and negotiation and persuasion. That's kind of like how all my day goes. It's boring, but it's repetitively boring and I enjoy it. So my whole life's goal was, how can I make my life so boring that everything happens automatically? And I've sort of accomplished that. Now it's kind of raising the bar of a new challenge, making things more challenging and difficult for me so I can conquer a different level.
Yeah. And this is, I hear this all the time. Like there's this common narrative that, success is actually, there's no, people think that like it's, there's this cool shit that happens suddenly and then there's new cool shit just keeps happening. But really it's just doing the mundane day to day and just sticking to a good plan, as long as the plan is good. But like it's just a sum of repetitive actions that we do day in, day out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is, right? So you run two agencies. You have the custom creatives, and you've been running it for since
2004. Yeah, it's going to surpass 2 decades once we hit 2025, which will be
nice.
pretty long. In digital marketing years, whoever's listening to this, if you're in the digital marketing world, I guess in any business, it certainly feels like dog years. That's for sure. It definitely is a lot of work and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of risk. There's a lot of reward. So yeah, running it for 20 years, seen a lot of things change along the way, which is pretty awesome to see cause I'm on the cusp of old school to new school. When I was in high school, internet started to become an everyday it was dial up where you had to hear the plane crash noise once it connected. Pages loaded in like 5 minutes. So now if a page doesn't load in 2 seconds, we're a little bit impatient. But I got to see the cusp of going from like TV, radio, print, and traditional door knocking being like the dominant way to make money and make sales to everybody searching the internet and Facebook and social media. And then it kind of just transitioned. But overall, the simplicity of the only thing that's changed to me in the game, being in this so long, has really been the venue and the access to people, because the systems in place have really good persuasive marketing, have a good sales process, track everything properly, and then advertise where you're able to get customers, where they spend time in the highest probability, whether it was events, print, door knocking, etc. And now we just did it at scale where it's like, run an ad on Google, run an ad on Facebook, run an ad on whatever platform you want. And then you can also use those same exact platforms. Instead of physically going to a restaurant or a networking meeting, we can jump into an internet group. We can DM people. So the exposure that we're able to get is just, it's just so much easier to reach people. And there's so many platforms that you can master. So there's really no way to run out of opportunity. It's just being aware that it's right in front of you this whole entire time.
Yeah, 100%. Right, I want to pick your brain a little bit because, since you've been around for so long, I would like to see if we can dive into a particular subset strategy for all the agency owners, listen. Let's see. I mean, right now, the big buzzword is AI employees. That's the big, I don't know how far down the track on you on that one. Or if you wanted to dive into, I don't know, perhaps like SEO might be your thing. But like, if we can dive into some specific strategy, practical advice.
Let's do the AI, because everybody's starting to transition to AI, and the structures of any kind of offer are almost identical, but I'll let you lead the charge in terms of what sort of process and system, because AI is the buzzword. I'm looking at this as, we had the dot-com boom in the late 90s to the early 2000s. This is that all over again. And a lot of people miss that because you're either too young or too unaware or not in the game. Now we have that same opportunity. And when I see the ex-CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, talk about, if you don't have AI in your everyday business, you will no longer have a business. So it's really
I
that,
totally get it.
because
Yeah.
if the writing's on the wall, right? If you like Gary Vee, he's predicted a lot of things correctly over the years, whether you like him or not. And Eric Schmidt, he's like one of the godfathers that changed the habits and patterns that you may not even realize you're doing right now of how you utilize search. So when a guy like that talks, you just watch. You don't watch, you listen, you jump in if this is your game.
Yeah. So there's two parts to it. There's one, the like taking it all in kind of thing, and then the other one is like implementation for the ones that are like feeling overwhelmed and like ready to go. So the first one is like, okay, let's take me for example, right? I've been using Jasper like 4-5 years ago, and it was already a thing, and nobody was really not, like AI or ChatGPT wasn't a thing, and so I was like, oh, that's my secret weapon. And then the ChatGPT became a bit of a mainstream, well, it is a mainstream thing now. Highlevel has come up with a conversation AI, content AI, last 12, 18 months. But really now, since the summit, now they've come up with AI employee, which is bundling it all together. I personally haven't had the time to look into it because I've been on the move over here to Australia. But I personally now, and even me doing it for a while, I feel like, holy shit, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Mhm.
Do you relate?
I did like overwhelm. I've conditioned myself to think that's a choice versus a feeling because I just simplify things rather than get paralysis analysis. But yeah, it can be overwhelming if you're trying to say there's all these parts of AI. How am I going to learn this all? Where do I start? The key is pick one spot and type that domain name in and play with that until you feel good, then move to the next. We just have to go back to the baby step mentality of keeping it simple and just start with one thing. You'll inherently get better at everything else once you master one skill. And that's kind of like what I tell salespeople, because I train a bunch of salespeople every week. It's like, get good at selling one thing. Then the format and the structure is the same. Rather than learning 20 products, master one, probably the most sellable, probable one that people want. And then when you can sell one thing, you can sell like these pens, these iPhone holders. It doesn't matter because now you have a structure. Same thing with learning like AI. Once you understand the concept of just using ChatGPT and the whole repertoire and the prompting and what its capabilities actually are, no longer are you starting your day at 0 miles an hour. Now you're like 50 miles an hour because you can accomplish so much more and you're delegating it to the computer and the computer is giving it back to you in 7 seconds. Whereas before, that's why we're calling it AI employees, because it's literally doing all your work for you better than you, and you can talk to it and it'll give it to you in real time. Whereas if you compare it to your employees or even a colleague at work, if you tell them to do a task and then 2 days later, a 1-day task or a 1-hour task is done 2 days later, it might be done wrong. And then you lost 2 days and now you got to redo it and you paid the salary. Nowadays, it's just talk to your computer, use your voice option. It spits out all your work for you. It's written all my Facebook posts for me today, my email content, my responses to my emails. It's writing my scripts. When I was meeting up to this podcast, had a couple scripts written for some content I'm going to do. And now I have a choice. Do I want to be a talking head as a human and do the script myself on my blue wall or green screen wall? Or do I want to take a photograph of myself, throw it in my apps, and it just moves my lips as if it's me with my own voice?
Right. Yes. Podcast AI, definitely interesting one. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, the overwhelm comes from just being on the move, right? Like I get all this stuff and it's just like, because I've not been sitting in front of a computer for last 2 weeks, organizing the move, the whole family. You then sit down and you see all these emails like, AI employee, the big workshop that Billie Jean was running, and like, oh, I'm feeling like I've missed out on something.
Mhm.
And it just really makes you realize how fast things move. Just bloody 3 weeks, only 3 weeks. And now I'm like, I feel like I'm behind.
It definitely is on the move and it is crazy. By the way, I'm going to be day 5 of the AI marathon. So November 29th, or in a couple days, I'm going to be on there talking about voice AI.
Yeah. So for these guys listening, that's already in the past. So just go
Yes.
to YouTube, Highlevel channel, and check it out. You'll find it there. Mate. So that's the overall aspect. Now let's talk about like a practical. The question is, I mean, you've got team and stuff, so I don't assume that you do the day-to-day anymore. It's more of a management, but maybe maybe you do. With the let's talk about voice AI. Do you implement that a lot at the agency?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'll give you an example of my first experience with using voice AI. So we do events like every month or so, and sometimes we drop the ball and forget to promote it and forget to tell the world that we're going to be doing it. So that was one of these cases. Somebody made a boo-boo. So we're like, all right, shit, we got to send these emails out. We had about 226 people register before the event. Our normal turn-up rate on these live events are in and around 20-30% of the registrants show up. They're going to get the usual suspects, the email follow-up to remind them, the Zoom link, a Facebook tag with the everyone tag in our group, along with a text message reminder to say, hey, we're live. But this time, the only differential was we did two things different. Number one, we had voice AI call every registrant to make sure that they were going to be there. Number two.
Oh, wait. Outbound.
We did an outbound one. So we built an outbound one. I'll get to that in a minute or a bit. So we built an outbound one. We had to call everybody. 70% show up rate. 164 people showed up out of the 226 that registered. And then on the back end, after the event, we had voice AI ask them what their favorite part was. And then once they told the bot, would book them on calls. So I don't remember the numbers, but it was around 25 or 30 people, somewhere in that range of the total volume. But those are 25 or 30 people that we may not have ever been able to reach had we had a human call them, because the humans would have been calling them because they typically end around 4 p.m. our time. Now, to call 226 people would be a tall task for 2-3 people to call, be on the same page, do it fast. Don't over talk, don't over explain. The goal of this is get them on a call. That's it. And AI just does that. It gives you the bare bones information, and its only outcome and goal is what we tell it to do, which is book the call. And they did. So it increases our sales process, increases our customer engagement. It enhances our status also in the minds of digital marketers and other customers, because they think we're the cutting edge, way above the world, that we have all of these things. But the funny thing is, all it took was a little bit of money to optimize the business, and anybody can do it. So it's not like it's a secret weapon. We just pay for it and implement it, and it enhances. It's kind of the catch-22 with a lot of the newer agencies. I'll invest the money when I close a customer, but then you can't close a customer, so they can't invest the money. It's actually the opposite. Invest your money, then the customers will come, because you're going to get better, because now you have the repertoire, the tools, and everything you need at the minimum viable levels when you're starting. And in my time, which I don't want to sound too old, all we can do is go on the internet and literally phone books and call out of those things from our cell phones or our office lines, our landlines, which nobody seems to have anymore. Now we have our overhead was wildly different, because back then it was like you were a business if you had an office. If you worked from home, you were literally frowned upon, like, oh, what do you do? Oh, you must be unemployed if you work from home, right? So that was the vibe. So the first thing, it wasn't even a thought. It was like, I need to get an office. That was overhead number one, $2,000. Overhead number two is, fuck, I don't even have a computer. There's number two. Number three is we need land.
It's like,
we need landlines.
You're sitting at home in a hoodie. You're a hobbyist, and I'm here in the office wearing a suit.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's funny, because my very first real professional job was working for realtor.com, and we talked to nobody. Like we only did sales. We had cubicles and a boiler room, and we just did sales. That's all we did. And we had to wear a suit and tie. And I was like, what? I'm like, what the fuck am I wearing a suit and tie for? Because no one sees us but ourselves. Like, and the motto was, in case guests come through the office. And I'm like, trust me, if the guests came through our office, you definitely don't want them to hear what we're saying on these phones. Yeah.
Not to mention that wearing a suit every day, it's not very comfortable.
Not at all. It was not very fun, especially I had a 6 a.m. shift, and it was not fun putting on a suit at 5:45 in the morning and then rushing over to work. But that also, I mean, those things were it helped with the storyline of getting where we were. Just kind of having that discipline certainly had some form of impact, wearing those clothes. Now, now I don't.
Aside from the discomfort of wearing it, there is definitely something that when you put on a nice suit, it definitely makes you feel like you're like, I'm the boss.
It does make you feel good when you're not in that office and you're in normal public getting Starbucks and people are like, oh, you're looking good. But then when you're in the office, everybody looks the same because we're all wearing suits.
It's Matrix.
Yeah,
Matrix.
exactly. But yeah, the voice AI thing, I think it's just such a high enhancement because it truly is an employee, except the benefits are like it takes limited training, it's scalable and duplicatable, and you can have as many employees as you want, but your overhead stays the same. And that's the beauty of it. And that's why it's super exciting because you can have your own like answering service, voice AI that will handle the calls way better, more intelligently without the training and stay consistent with the right accent all along the ways, transcribe the notes, have the audio recording of the entire call should you ever want to, do live transfers, do your outbound database reactivations, do customer service. And at some point, you can, not even at some point, even to this right now, it's available. You can have voice AI do like even some basic sales training, like objection handling training, if you wanted it to. Give it your objection sheet, get your new guys in, have them self-train without a sales manager or a role play partner.
How do you do that?
Well, I mean, we create a new bot, a new voice AI agent. We give it a name, like let's call it Vit, and then we give it an objective. We'll call it sales training, and then we give it the scripts, and then we test it out. If we like what we hear, it's done. If we don't like what we hear, we just add new content, feed it information, and then we test it again. Once the test goes through, then we just give it to an unsuspecting citizen, as I call it, and give that to them and saying, hey, check out my AI bot. It's going to train on sales. Give it an objection. Say, let me think about it and see what it says back. Say, I need to talk to my wife. See what it says back. I don't have the money. See what it says back. Now you're trained. Now flip the script. Then we make a new voice AI agent. And now they're the opposite. They become the salesperson and you're the prospect, or the prospect and salesperson. So you can kind of use these things to elevate status and elevate skills. And at some point, I'm sure voice AI will be doing the sale at some point, but I don't know if humans are ready for that just yet. I think they like the intimacy and the care of knowing that there's a human behind the products. So that will be a little bit of a transition, I believe. It might be better if it might be acceptable for let's say, for instance, a restaurant to accept reservations and book automatically for a corporate party or a 100-person wedding catering event. That might be acceptable to make it the experience fast, simple, and easy. But when it comes to higher ticket sales, as they call it in our world, $10,000 and above or $100,000 and above, whatever high ticket means to you, those do still require a little bit of human experience. I think cars might be able to be sold with AI bots because, I mean, they're pretty much locked in features, right? So that might be something.
Dealerships.
Yeah, that might be a huge part. But I mean, also getting past the legacy business owners that are 50, 60, 70 years old, they're going to be they're going to find a lot of them that aren't forward thinking. They're going to be finding ways to prove it won't work rather than adapting the ways that it could work. With that, it's just an education gap. And they just have to, because they're looking at the news from what evils AI can do rather than just look the other way, because it also does great things.
Yeah. I mean, all it takes is just crack through the market, and one of the competitors will take you up on it. The other ones will start to listen, right?
Yeah.
I was at the dealership yesterday buying a new car, right? I was just talking to the dealer because he was driving back home, sitting in the car talking about it. I'm like, so how do you guys what do you guys do? How many sales do you get? Do you ever get missed phone calls? Yeah, we occasionally get some. We don't get that many, but we do get some. And I start talking about what I do and missed call, text back, and and voice AI and things like that. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, speak to the boss."
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely opportunities.
I love that you use that opportunity to present missed call, text backs. I do that all the time.
It's such a no-brainer. It's to this day, it's probably one of the most easiest for anybody to comprehend. I found talking about, workflows and automations, I get excited about this stuff and I just get people looking at me with eyes glazed over, But when I talk about missed call text, I actually I did it in Canva. So it was for martial art clubs, and I just did slide with a bit of an animated GIF showing the progress of the text message, right? And it was here's Mitch, the martial art club owner. He's on the mats coaching the group. Call comes in, he's not picking up. This happens, missed call, text back kicks in, conversation AI kicks in, has a conversation, books person on to a visit into the gym. By the time Mitch leaves the mats, he's good at booking. And that's so simple, but you just present it to any of the martial art club owners, gym owners, whoever, and they're like, I definitely want this. This is good shit. It
Yeah, I
works.
love that. Like, cause on, like every time I'm on my, I have everything bookmarked on my phone. So this is my weapon no matter where I am, a restaurant, a dental office, Starbucks, does not matter. I have my voice AI stuff, and then I have my demo like you just described with the martial arts studios. So I built this website on Highlevel a long time ago. Actually, this was before Highlevel had a web builder. So this was on ClickFunnels for the longest time. Sorry if that's a bad word. I get it, but I'm flipping. It's now on Highlevel. So don't troll me unless you want to. I love trolling. But yeah, all I do is if I'm sitting next to you and you own a business, I'll be like, hey, check this out. Fill in my demo page. And then I don't tell them what they're getting. I just said, watch, they'll get some automatic text messages. What they don't know is they're getting 5 calls, 5 text messages, and 5 emails, all within 5 minutes. And then while I'm sitting with them, their phone is buzzing, blowing up. I'm like, don't worry, that's me calling you. And I'm like, you're actually still holding my phone too. Like, that's what we do to businesses. We automate it. And then my text message series that goes through this 5 series, it's selling them on each one saying, hey, isn't this cool? I'm still with you and I'm sending you text messages operating my business. And who knows, maybe we're at a bar together. And then the next message saying, wouldn't this be cool if you were in Hawaii and your operating system was just in your handheld doing it all for you? Then the next message, then the next message. It's kind of like telling them a little bit of a story behind it all, along with the emails. And then the ending email starts to say, book a call or buy it online. If you buy it online, here's the discount. If you book a call, we'll talk about getting you that discount still. So we just created that workflows, and that's all I do is just sit there and then it all starts on how you mentioned something with missed calls. Like if it's an HVAC person, what happens have you ever missed a call and like you have that game of phone tag trying to get a hold of that person? And the worst thing that can happen has this ever happened? You call them and then they ended up finding a solution without you. Has that ever happened? And they say yes. Then I make them quantify it. I'm like, if you could approximate how many times has that happened this month? A lot of them will say 10. For some reason, they love the number 10. I'm like, oh, that's a lot. And I'm like, so that's 120 a year. Like, what's the lifetime value you think of a client? I'm like, okay, so we have potentially what you're saying is, let's say $1,000 as a client. We have $120,000 there. Yeah. So it's already built. The budget is already built in because the gap is so big financially. Then it's a short explainer of how to implement it with ease. No CSV files, no Zapier talk. We'll import your list and you'll be ready to go. And what we're going to first start off with is something that's not what we talked about. Is it okay with you if I send a text with an offer I make up that you approve and get you a bunch of clients paying you money so we can get ahead of the starting line?
Wow. That's it.
And then it's like, who the heck cares about a $1,500 setup fee and $500 a month there? Because now I'm the smartest person they ever met this year.
Yeah. They'd be happy to pay even 5K for setup, whatever.
Yeah. I just keep it a foot. I use these as my foot in the door because there's way more shit I want to do with them after that. So I'm a big fan of frictionless price points and frictionless selling as long as I'm profitable to get a customer in my door. I'm a big fan of break even. That's my worst case scenario. I don't want to lose money to get a client. I'm okay breaking even because I already know if I create more value and more upsell or more product with the client, it's pure 100% profit. Other people have these Grant Cardone dreams, 10x everything. It's not going to happen. It will happen eventually. You'll get there. But my whole goal of my initial product offering is I don't want to lose money. All I want to do is attract a client. I want to prove my value. I break even on the cost per acquisition. The next month is where I already make the profit and beyond. But then I know I'm going to already have other services like voice AI, marketing services, consulting services, etc. So, I mean, we have a back end offer, but in order for me to grab your ears, grab your attention, I solve a big problem way up here that's losing you a lot of money. My price is way down here. It's an absolute no brainer because if my price starts to inch up to where their value is, then I'm starting to get I'm going to have friction. I'm going to have a longer selling cycle. I'm going to have to think about it. I'm going to have a magical partner. Because I've done that when I felt a little threatened that something was out of my what I didn't know was going to cost so much. I'm like, oh, well, let me discuss it with my partner. Well, guess what? I don't have one. I just made an excuse to get out of the call because it was a fight or flight mentality. I tried to eliminate the fight or flight mentality and saying, let's just move together forward with a lower, easier, absorbable price, high profit margin for me and the team and the family to implement. And then we have our ascension model that happens on the back end.
100%. An offer. This is a self-liquidating offer. Like I spoke to Sam Carlson, episode 32. He says the same thing. Like, hey, you should, because I was actually talking about my Vit Muller consulting website where I sell premium GHL snapshots and whatnot. We did a bit of a review there, and I'm gonna do a bit of an upgrade there on my funnel. But he was basically saying, mate, you've got all these really cool lead magnets and stuff. What are you gonna do? Because I don't have an in-betweener, right? I've got lead magnets. Yes, they work. I get people opting in all the time, and then it's boom, and then buy one of my premium snapshots, which start $1,000 and upwards, right? So he's like, the way I do it is I've got a really good offer for a free thing. Could be a newsletter, could be a free course, could be anything of that nature. Run paid ads towards that. But on the back of that, then get them onto something like around $100,
Yep.
something small. And then I send them from that. So it's definitely works, right?
Oh, 1,000. That guy, whoever that guy is, great funnel. There's so many varieties of self-liquidating funnels out there where we're running something very similar, except our front end offer is a paid offer. It's a $7 offer. Then there's an OT or an order bump for $47 to $97 for a sales training portal, or depending on the funnel it goes through. But our front end funnel is $7. Then it goes to a order bump of 47 to 97. If they take that or not take it, they complete the checkout. Then the next page is the OTO, which is our lifetime deal, which is a $500 offer. If they say no thanks, then it says we'll still get it for $197 times 3 payments. If they get that, then it keeps going and going and going. But it's definitely the point isn't necessarily liquidating just the ads itself. It's also the back end offer is get a free consultation with us and we'll give you a roadmap. So now we get to get a relationship with them self-booking when they paid. So technically we're getting paid to take the call, even though we're losing money on the front end with the lead, with the ads. But now we have a book call where they self-book, they know who we are, they trust who we are, they've seen our content, they whipped out their credit card and paid. So there's trust built in. We now get to come in and say, hey, let us show you how you can operate what you just purchased. And if we see, oh, this person could be a good fit for an ascension, hey, would it be cool with you if I hooked you up with one of the guys that can maybe even assist you further? We have additional coaching services and more sophisticated methods. You can explore it. And if it's for you, great. Welcome to the family. And if it's not, at least you learn something new that you can take away and execute now. So we have we have the process dialed in, and then our go high level, our follow-up systems and all that. That's always, everything's done, but it's always a work in progress because when I did the whole series with my partner, everything was peaches and cream and beautiful. And then now we're seeing like, all right, we have some improvements, some content, some additional workflows to add. It's always going to be a work in progress, but for the most part, the hard work, the lump sum of work is already done.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. By the way, Sam Kettleson, you don't know him?
I don't think I've met him though.
UpX.
Oh yeah. Okay. I know UpX. I didn't know his name because I know Rob has talked about him in the past. I've seen his ads as well. Yeah. He runs quite a few ads. Really good. He seems like a really good guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, man, we've covered some good juicy stuff. That's really one extra strategy I was going to add to that, just to beef up even more for those guys listening. Another strategy, and I was question to you as well, if you've tried this strategy, doing a challenge. So what I did a webinar, right, where I presented things like missed call text back for the particular niche, and then I said, hey, we're going to run a 30-day build your own automated like system in 30 days, and it was like $200. You pay for it, and it's going to be a weekly coaching call. You're going to get a 30-day free account into our software where you're going to build all that. So you're just going to follow our guidance. And at the end, you're going to have missed call text back. You're going to have, I don't know, a couple of other really simple things that they could do that we knew that we didn't have to do anything. So like reputation management, missed call text back, and then, I don't know, maybe like learn how to schedule socials or whatever. And so people bought it. They bet $200. We just did one call a week, and then the rest of the week they just, we just support them through the community. At the end, they had these 3 things plugged in, super excited, and then it just ticked over into a regular subscription.
I love that. That was beautiful. I haven't done a challenge like you just described. Like, are you targeting like marketing people or a local niche of a business owner that's not
local? Yeah, local. That was a local one, like fitness, like gyms and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's neat. I haven't honestly done that for a local business strategy in a particular niche. That's smart. I've done it the stupid way, which was local businesses without the niche for GHL. Not a smart idea at all, because there's too many different personalities, situational things that you need to take account for. But no, yours is smarter. Our challenges are a little bit different, where we do it towards marketers because like our coaching program is towards like SaaS people and marketing people. So that's kind of who we've always done our challenges to. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, we've done them mostly primarily free, but then we did our very first live event. I've always been resistant for no reason at all of against me hosting a live event where I have to do a lot of the talking and whatnot. I'm comfortable doing what we're doing now. Zoom, I can honestly sit here with you till tomorrow. Like that's how much I love doing internet stuff. But when I did my first live event, we charged, I think it was like $397 a ticket with a VIP upgrade. And then we did like coach them through building their foundations of the core 4 stuff and what you described, like the missed call text backs, chat widget installation, Google reviews, and database reactivations. So we kind of gave them a snapshot as part of coming to the event and then helped them build everything out. So by the end of day 2, they were done. Everything's ready to go. No more excuses. Rubber meets the road. And day 3 was watch me cold call on your behalf for you, for your niche, and see what the response is. So now you can take these tools and go by yourself. Or if you have leads, better yet, it's much easier when somebody's coming to you than you go to them. So that's what we did for our challenge. And then a lot of people enrolled into our main program on the back because they're like, well, I need more help than just what I just heard. You know, it's repetition is what they looked for.
Yeah,
that's how we did
it. So that's through the custom creatives for local businesses.
Yeah, like custom creatives, like I started off heavily into only real estate because I came from realtor.com. So my first around decade was strictly only working with the real estate space.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. That's the same like me. You know, I've been working in the fitness industry since 2010, personal training, gym management. So naturally, I'm gonna be able to relate much more to that audience, right? And
what's some of the like? If I want to ask you a question, like, because gym owners, especially the boutique ones, they're probably very similar to realtors. Because I've hired a bunch of personal trainers, and I see that their facilities aren't as packed as they should. And they're always bitching and whining about marketing doesn't work. Like I tried that and it didn't work, and because I'm not selling them anything, I'm just their client. I'm like, well, the only common denominator of all the things that don't work is you. So I'll just tell them that straight up because I'm paying them. And I'm like, you need to change your mindset and change your attitude. And when you see a good thing, you need to pay them because the worst thing that can happen is you lose a little money. But then the thing that's actually happening is you're losing tons of time. And you're already like my friend is approaching 50 years old. I'm like, you've been doing this for 25 years. And if one customer leaves, it has an impact on your business, and it shouldn't be the case after that long.
Big one.
Yeah.
Big one. This is in particular industry where, you know, this is a face-to-face service. It's very much on your craft. So if you are, you know, good, like if you're doing it for the right reason, you're passionate about fitness and exercise and being healthy, and you're passionate about helping others, that's a big tick in the box. Second one, you can communicate. You're good communicator. You have good social skills. So the customers, you know, they don't come to you just for the training, but they really enjoy that time that they spend with you. If you can do that, just focus on that. Just focus on making them happy, making them satisfied with the training. Yes, get them results as well. Also, mind you, some clients may never get a fast results, and because there's so many variables in what they do outside of the training session. But yeah, that's what I found. Like if you're a really good PT, clients will stick with you and they will talk about you. They'll bring more clients. And then you're definitely doing something wrong if you're purely just focusing on marketing as a way to generate clients as a personal trainer, because also you can only fit maybe 30, 40 sessions a week. So there's limited capacity. So yeah, that's what
I was very sticky to my trainer. Anytime I go to him, I'll go for like, I kind of go ebb and flow because I like to work out alone too. So I'll go for like 18, 20 months with him. And then but I work out on my own if I don't go to him. But then I'm on a break right now to get my own kind of philosophy of training in because he has his own, which I highly respect, but I have my own of what my personal goals are. So I take 3-4 months break, then I go back and go through the torture chamber again and then kind of make it cyclical. Yeah. But it's sometimes needing a break makes the heart grow fonder, but I always go back to the same person because their quality is so elite. Just like a good marketing agency, a good podcast host. Like we lose clients all the time, but the one thing I pride myself on is I get people need a break because they need to see if the grass is greener, if circumstances change. But for the most part, we have a high rate of comebacks and winbacks, which is pretty neat because I've canceled people's services and came back when they're doing stuff for me in my business. So it's human nature. Yeah, there's moves and things we could have done better as an organization to nurture them, to build a better relationship. But in the end of the day, as long as we have and in business, all you guys listening, there should be some form of like win back or make good program, because it shouldn't be you go your way, I go my way, we never meet again. It's, if you're the entrepreneur, do everything you can to bring every client back, or if they're refusing to come back, get the feedback loop as to why you lost the business in the first place. Cause then maybe there is a flaw in the process that you didn't know about that can keep those customers longer. Cause some people are charging $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month. And if you lose one of those, if you annualize that and then times it by 2, the 2-year value, that's really what you're losing by not having a good win back campaign.
Yeah. More bridges you burn, the longer the journey will be towards building evangelists.
Yeah, 100%.
Just quote that. Mate, let's flip the switch. A couple of rapid fire questions related to high level. What about high level originally grabbed your attention? Was there like something specific or a problem you were trying to solve?
Nothing specific, no problem I was trying to solve. Rob and Alex said, hey, we're looking for 10 people to use high level. We're going to launch it. Can you do it? And I said, yes.
So you were there at the beginning with like Rob Bailey and
yeah.
Cool. Wow. Okay. So you've seen the whole journey. What's your like, I mean, probably miscalled text, but do you have aside from that one then?
My favorite one is database reactivations, because I'm a big fan of leads never expire in the history of what we do. Every business needs marketing. Everybody needs business improvement, and we provide that. So no one expires in my life. So it's my job to make sure my DBR campaigns are just set up for success.
I like that. Is there anything that you're looking forward in particular for high level to release?
Oh man, for high level, I don't know what they're going to release. I don't stay too active in the group in terms of all the updates, because otherwise my full-time job would be watching Sean's videos, which is pretty remarkable. I think what I'm looking for is kind of like what I just saw on the Google Pixel commercial that just came out. I want to talk to my high level device as if it's a girl and have it do what I want. Not like I'm going to date it or anything, but like the movie Her, where I'm building a relationship with my own personal assistant, high level. And I want to say, hey, I'll call her, let's go with Nancy. No, forget Nancy. You give me a name. Let's give the girl a name. Give my girl a name.
Lucy.
Okay. I'll say, hey, Lucy, I have a podcast coming up in an hour with Vit. Connect to my drop shipping company and send them a GSD sweater so it arrives in a week. Thanks.
Boom. I like that.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually been thinking about doing something like that. A little, because I mean, there's nothing better than like over delivering. Like nice surprise factor is always like a good thing to do. So you do sweaters.
Oh, well, no, I don't do sweaters. I have a lot. I over ordered 100 extra sweaters and like 150 shirts. They're sitting in boxes in my garage. I know, it's like these guys who are working on my house, they're remarkable. These guys work, I'm in California, so it rarely rains, but it rained twice this week. And these guys are just working outdoors in my backyard through the rain. No, as if it's not even raining. I'm like, God damn, you guys don't mess around. I like you guys. So I was going to give them sweaters because I'm like, the GSD stands for get shit done. I'm like, you guys are getting shit done out there.
Yeah. That's funny. If you could give one piece of advice to a new high levelers to make their life easier when adapting using a high level, what would that be?
Simplify. One word answer. Do not absorb everything. I can tell you, I don't know if this data is true because I'm making it up. I'd say there's approximately, at the time of this podcast, there's about 80,000 members in the group. I would say 95% of them make no money because they're trying to learn the entire system versus listen to the people who are the veterans that say, just sell one feature and be masterful at it. If you want to sell 4 or 3 or 2, do your thing. But if you're thinking more is better, you're wildly wrong, because you're just going to confuse the customer because they have no idea what you're talking about and they're going to haunt you to death. You're going to think you're talking really, really eloquently and well. And then they're going to say, there, champ. Thank you for your time. Goodbye. But if you focus on what we talked about earlier, database reactivations, if you can create a gap of a customer that has 1,000 leads and they do HVAC and their lifetime value is 8,000, they're already bleeding $100,000 or more right then and there. Trigger your mind how to pitch that and how to sell it and how to save that revenue, because that person could be hurting for revenue right now, and they're fucking it all up by doing it the way they're doing it. So if you kind of can explain it and articulate it through video content, through experiential content by presenting it and learning it and talking to somebody who's good, like Vit is very good. I know how to do it. Rob Bailey, the community is really good. There's a lot of resources that are willing to help you. I would say simplify is the most important thing, not only for high level, but everything in business, because all it is a series of tiny, simple steps strung together rather than one big problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And once you get them in, then you can get nerdy and like
Yeah.
offer other additional things, right? Once you get
Yeah.
them in.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Also, still the most scalable thing is just to focus on one thing. Yeah.
100%.
On this podcast, we have a segment called The Beef. And I don't know, have you heard of it?
I have not, but I'm about to hear
No?
about it.
So it's a segment where we discuss like constructive feedback on how level to improve the platform and get upvotes on the ideas board. So
Okay.
the idea is, right, you submit things on the ideas board. I'm sure you've done it. I've done it. You know, we do that. But unless unless it gets noticed, unless you get those upvotes, the dev team will not prioritize it. So how do you get upvotes without getting flagged through the community? Because you can't post it in the community either. They put it down. It's against the rules. You can't promote your to get upvotes, right? So that's the idea of this segment, is to give you an opportunity to pitch your, your idea that you've posted on the ideas board. Or if you haven't, you could do it later.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the show notes. So do you have something that particularly like?
I have recommendations. They're
yeah.
not on the idea board just yet, but I think the user interface of the contact records is just not the best user interface. It's hard to string together multiple contacts from a location. It's hard to collaborate with your own team. Every morning I should be emailed my morning coffee report of my to-do list and my agenda. The simple, like the calendar function should work every single day without any functionality, without any downtime, without changing time zones. If there's ever a go high level update, it should be announced ahead of time and chosen. Like instead of released, it should have like a 2-3 week release date at the very, very minimum. And people should choose if they want to adapt to it or stay on the older version. If something is updated, nothing else should break, like zaps and triggers and functions. There's a lot of things that I can rattle out there, which I've just done, but those are the things, is making the core infrastructure of the core features not impact every sub account underneath it, which I've seen a lot of other people's. But yeah, those are my main things. I mean, I love the software, but if I was able to give them the beef, that was my beef.
That encompasses a whole bunch of submissions on their own, I would say. But
my number one thing would be, because I can live with all those hiccups. What I can't live with is the inefficiencies that I'm experiencing with the sales interface. Because the very first thing I remember when this thing launched for their infrastructure, I'm like, I've wireframed more sales user interfaces for multiple organizations. Because at one point I was doing software consulting and stuff for really large companies. A lot of them were public. And I would just diagram them using Balsamiq. And I'd say, my job is to make sure the users of the platform have a good experience, a speedy experience to go from call to call, toggle page to page, and try to fit as many information without pagination, because the time of loading is just ridiculous when you're in a fast environment. So it's like tab-based stuff where it's like tabs over and doesn't paginate refresh. So those are like the little things that I look at where it'd just be so freaking cool. Cause like pipeline deals is like just a stupid, simple sales CRM that I used. I've used Infusionsoft. I've used Salesforce. I've used quite a few things, not just for my company, but I've also, because I've consulted for a variety of companies, they have different systems that I had to adapt to. And what I found the simplest, stupidest, easiest was pipeline deals. Interface great, adding multiple contact records and decision makers and titles and multiple phone numbers, multiple emails, and tracking your notes. If I email somebody from my Outlook or my Gmail, it auto synced into there easily without having to do anything. I know Highlevel does that too. Sometimes it's a little bit inconsistent, but the interface of that particular page is so imperative to me to be able to track their products, their expiration dates, and some key features. But yeah, I could go on for days on that one page, because that makes me the most amount of money, is having that data at my fingertips easier.
Yeah, it's important, especially in the sales, like being able to utilize contact screen with all the details and being able to do it quickly. Like I've just moved to this new place, right? I've got like 200 megs download, 80 megs upload, which I think that's pretty fast. Yeah, my Mac may be a little bit outdated, but still pretty fast. but I'm still experiencing some delays. A little better, but I would have thought it'd be like, like this. So time will tell. I'm about to get a new Mac Mini, the one that was released, the M4 Pro. See, that might improve it, but yeah. Okay, well, thanks for the feedback, man. What I'll do is because one of my secret missions is I want to get the high level team on this podcast a bit more regularly and see if they can listen up to this. I mean, they probably may get bombarded already with all the things, so we got to be respect. But yeah, I think they're all valid. Points that you just covered. So
Yeah, I mean they're really good at making like there's way more pros than the cons that I've even described because I'm
100%.
obviously using it, right? I'll promote it till I'm blue in the face for small businesses and whoever it's most appropriate for. But yeah, those are my constructive feedbacks. It's not like actual beef where we want to go mano a mano, but it's a wish list request. And if Robin, Sean, Varun, and the rest of the team hear this part of it, I'll draw it up for you. I will guarantee this will be the best interface ever if we have a little discussion in a whiteboard session and go over it. I promise you that.
That might be an episode to do because I'm already what you just said. All those points, they all need extra discussion to go in more nitty gritty, right? On all those things. So.
Exactly.
Okay. There's also a segment. I guess we've covered a bunch of stuff there. We do have a segment that called 303. I've been trying to get off the ground. It hasn't really happened yet, but I think it's about to. It's an idea where we share 3 impactful stories in under 3 minutes. So a story of you as an agency owner sharing in 60 seconds a case study, who you've helped, what impact it delivered for them. Do you have such a case study that you'd like to share from Custom Creative and perhaps the other one from GSD?
I'll start off with Custom Creatives. I'll keep it short. So one of the most impactful things, a mutual benefit from not only myself, but for the customer was probably the most meaningful to me. I quit a job like I described in the beginning of this podcast. And then that same employer, I'm looking at it as I turned my back on you. And then we stayed and did not burn a bridge. I got to actually evolve as an agency owner by doing more business with that same company. So that's the key of maintaining relationships and doing good work at the highest level, because they don't hire you because they know you. They hire you because they respect you and you're good at what you do. So I went all in on one talent and I excelled at that. And it not only was my former employer, Realtor.com, my client, and paid us millions, so did a lot of other people. So we created great success off one product, one offer, one solution, one price point. And it made our business growth very easy to train and scale human talent by simplifying everything. The benefit they received was a reliable vendor that can do it better, faster, and make them more profitable. We lowered their cancellation rates and we could help them extend their upsell and renewal rates. I can't quantify what the money was, but I would say it's in the, if not hundreds of millions, very close to it.
Yeah. So that's for Custom Creative. For GSD, do you have a short under 60-second one?
Yeah.
The agency you help with, and if you got some numbers as well.
Yeah, I have numbers as well. So one of the students who is a former Billie Jean disciple, Billie's an amazing, funny, edutainment person. But anyways, one of the students from there, I had met him. I had been through a Billie Jean program. That's where I met a lot of these internet people. I was more of a hermit by myself. But anyways, one of them, he started his agency as a side hustler working for a marketing company that was publicly traded. Got him out of his 9-to-5. Him and his partner do over $250,000 per month, still work with us. It's been about 5 years of consulting and coaching and helping them with mentorship and driving leads to them. But they went from literally, this is an absolute true story. You can validate it if you want to ask me who they are, you can in the comments. But they went from trading marketing services for food, for tacos specifically, as their very first customer. And then I said, don't do the barter game, do the exchange for money. Then they went to $500. I'm like, all right, now that you got the confidence to sell, now we got to get higher ticket. Now these guys are selling $20,000 setups and $5,000 to $10,000 a month retainers. In some cases, these can exceed $20,000 a month retainers. So not only are they growing very, very rapidly, or their revenue is very secure with a very good product, they're charging more than we even charge for the similar services, which is even more remarkable that they've done such a good job in their niche. So it's really cool to see people doing so well and excel and still stick with us, because sometimes when you're at a higher level, like they've become now, they're not paying us because they want the coaching every day, like a lot of newer people or intermediate people do. They're only paying us because they have one call a year, and our answer is going to be worth $1 million to them.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Guys, if you're listening to this, if you got an impactful story you'd like to share, because, stories is what motivates and inspires all of us. I would love if you guys could submit such a story. If you head over to highlevelexperience.com, you will learn how to do that. It's just a simple form that you submit an audio recording, 60 seconds. Just say name, the agency, what impact you've done for whom. Get through in some numbers, great. And then we'll feature it in the episode. I would definitely love 3 of these in each episode. And it's great for you guys. You get a bit of a shout out. It feels good to inspire. Also, if you have a beef and you would like to share and get some more upvotes on the ideas board, again, head over to highlevelexperience.com. You can learn how to submit it. Again, similarly, it's an audio recording because we have to plug it in. So audio recording of that beef. The rule is you have to have submitted that on the ideas board first, so that you provide a link to the idea, so that we can plug you in the episode and also add a link in the show notes, and people can actually go and upvote on your idea. So if you have a beef, like to share it, head over to highlevelexperience.com. Rahul, a good segue from GSD and the last case that you just mentioned. For our other agencies listening, if they want to work with you, how can they find out more information?
Yeah. Go to highlevelexperience.com/GSD.
And what's the offer?
Oh, the offer. Okay. You guys want me to give you gifts? Okay. On this page, I'm going to give you a lot of things. So we've built a lot of free resources for agency owners because we know how it is starting up, and colleges under-prepare us for real-world experiences and practice success. You're really kind of trained to be an employee versus trained to live a dream of entrepreneurship. So we put together a 12-hour course completely free of charge. We call it the Agency Foundations. You'll have instant access to all the content. It's not locked. There's no upsells. There's no cross-sells. There's just free content. And if I'm allowed to put a group access there, we have guides, everything I do every single day. There's a summarized version of those trainings all inside my group, or at my playbook. I give as much away as I can for free. I have no problem sharing the playbook. When people need help operating it, then they reach out to me to get said help. But for the most part, I'm happy to do everything for free and publish it online. So anybody who comes across it can share it, use it, rewatch it. And one tip, when you find something, whether it's mine, whether it's Vit's or anybody's, if you find something you really are passionate about and you like, watch that same video over and over and over again, because I've found that a lot of people try to get the video over with to say they finished the first video. The purpose isn't necessarily not to finish it. The goal is to absorb it, execute upon it, master it, make it second nature. So just rewatch things until you actually can't get it wrong, and then you can go on to the next video. That's really my tip and advice on how learning works for me best.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I've actually, you know what, I've been reading a book from this one here.
The outsourcing book or hiring secrets. Yeah.
Right. And I'm reading it. I'm like, God, this is a bit dry to me, but I'm reading it again and again and again, because even though to me, it might feel like a bit dry, a bit repetitive, he's obviously successful. So I'm always reminding myself, okay, just put your opinions aside, because you're trying to progress, you're trying to get to where you want to get to. And so, put your ego aside, put your, preconceived ideas, and just really focus on what he's saying. Because maybe you read it the first time and it doesn't really ring a bell, but read it second time, third time, and sometimes in the mundane, it's where the magic is, right? So
yeah, and I'm not much of a reader, and I wouldn't have that same book that you have there, and I just gave it to somebody else because they love the ops side, and I don't. I do the ultimate decision on the hiring. I don't do the hiring process because I'm not passionate about it. In fact, I absolutely hate it, so I just don't do it. I'm a big fan of I make my weaknesses weaker and my strengths stronger, in business at least. This is one book because I'm passionate about communication. I have persuasion skills. This
book.
Here, I'll hold it up again. I like this book. The author is Rintu Basu, Rintu Basu, Indian guy. He's unfortunately passed away, but the book in itself is really good about persuasion, how to use words eloquently. NLP is part of this. I have not finished it because I haven't even got past chapter 3 because it's so good that I keep going back because I'm not picking up everything the way I want to. But I use a pencil and a pen. I sometimes highlight things, I circle things, and then I just write them down. And I study this like I want to be him, right? And I treat myself as an actor. If he was alive and I can hear his voice, how would he say it? How would he make it dramatic? And I say it over and over and again. And I just keep writing it down so it gets in my head. And then I know when to use it, how to use it, what's the timing to use it. And that just kind of makes it more impactful. And just the first 3 chapters have helped tremendously in storytelling. But then it's not just about how you use this information or whatever you're good at or want to be good at career to earn a living or help your colleagues and your clients, but it also helps form you as a person in everyday life, how to communicate with strangers or how to be pleasant and fun at a party or whatever it is. Like, you kind of elevate your mindset, your confidence all around. So those are some of the takeaways that I do from my learning. And this is just, if you want to get good at like presenting and sales, I recommend that book along with Gap Selling. And then another old school book. If you like selling, I love this one because it's more of a negotiation book by 2 lawyers. They might not even be alive anymore, but it's called Never Lose Again.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Education, it's amazing. One thing about education, and I've realized that I've been doing as well, is it's very easy to get into a habit of just consuming, of just doing courses, attending webinars, this, never taking action.
Yeah.
Just like thinking, I got to consume more, educate myself more. And then, I think it was last year, I was like, I'm going to stop that. I'm going to like go full, like zero education. Because I mean, God damn it, like after so many years, there's going to be something that's stuck in my head. So let's just practice it and just do the shit and see what comes out. And definitely like it works. Sometimes you just got to stop consuming stuff and just get to the work because, our brain is, I think we undervalue our brain capacity sometimes. What they say is like, the scientists say that there's that much uncapped potential or the percentage of our human brain that we don't even realize that we have the capacity to do shit and we don't tap into that. So, right, there's power in just doing stuff and relying on your own thing that's in your ears.
100%. Like one of the quotes my dad would always tell me, I actually have a poster of me and my dad with his quote. It says, "Winners do it now." And that's kind of how I do things. Like once I see and hear and feel something from a book or from this podcast, I'll write my notes and then I immediately go do it and rehearse it right away on somebody or I implement. Yeah. So I like to I'm a big fan of sell before you're ready, build a plane while it's flying, just take action imperfectly. I put my ego aside and the judgment of others aside and just do stuff. So that's kind of the easiest way to win.
Yeah. I'm throwing in some extra questions that I haven't thrown at anybody in this podcast yet. They're tricky, but I think they are good.
Let's do it.
We're all human. We're all humans. No one is perfect. What are you not very good at?
What am I not very good at? A lot of things, like business wise, because I'm not good at cooking. I know that. I'm not good at dressing up anymore because I love being casual. I'm not good. I don't like doing administrative tasks in work. I'm not good at cleaning my desk every night before I leave for the day, which I really prided myself on as having a clean surface before I go away. I'm not good at checking the mail. I when I do check the mail, everything just sits on my desk, and then my girlfriend, if she doesn't open it, then everything stays there. I have like jury duty notices that I've missed 2 years in a row, so there could be some issue there. So, but yeah, those are. I'm sure if you ask somebody else that knows me well, they'll tell you that the podcast will probably go like for a week.
But and that's it. We all have things that we're good at, things that we're not good at, and that's how we all relate as human beings.
One bad thing that I need to get better at is that I'm very good at doing a task. Like if you ask me to write an email sequence off any kind of lead generation, whether it's a webinar for selling this particular book, I can write it like a fucking boss. I can put it in the workflow. But if you ask me to find the Google Doc I typed it on, I have no clue where the hell that went. Like I'm not good at that organization to find the things I've already done. That's why when I do something, I just give it to like my business partner or the person who's in charge of marketing. They put it somewhere and they name it, file it in the folders, however they do it. So when we do a search, anybody else can find it. That's something I'm also really, because I'll ask my staff, what's the link to this every day? And they're like, dude, just bookmark one bookmark and type the search. But that's one thing I'm probably very annoying about is like, please just give it to me.
Yeah, you see, I'm the complete opposite. So I'm Virgo, but by the sign, they say Virgos are like super organized, almost to a perfection, and sometimes to my detriment. But yeah, I've got everything. Like if you saw my shit, everything, folders, this. I'm training my VA, and like I'm so pedantic about it. Like this exactly, like you gotta do it this way because this is what makes it feel good. Like it's tidy. It's organized.
My Google folder, the name of the folder is called Rahul's files only, so he does not lose stuff. That's the name of the folder.
Oh, so you just dump everything in there. No subfolders.
It's just in there. Yeah. Like whenever I write everybody, they take it and organize it and make it good. So that's just if you came to my house, everything's like in a very particular order where you can memorize with your eyes closed where the plates are, where the TV is, where the remotes are. That I'm highly organized on. But when Google Drive is like, I don't know why. Maybe I still have my old school brain where I'm used to my desktop and my hard drives where it's just easier for me. But Google Drive just seems like a disappearing act when we're all collaborating. But I'm also not responsible for keeping us organized. The rest of the team is. At least file management.
As long as it's somewhere.
Yeah, file management is not my job. I just write the files.
Tell me something that's true that almost nobody agrees with you on.
Something that's such a hard question. I love that
question. I told you.
God damn. Something that's true that nobody agrees with me. That I'm a simple person. Because a lot of people call me difficult. And actually somebody said, I bet you're a difficult person. And I said, I'm a difficult person to people who I don't want to be around. But I'm not a difficult, I just have a higher standard. So that's probably what people mean. Man, I've never been stumped like this. God damn, that's such a good question. I can't wait till you ask somebody else that they stumble upon it. What can you answer that question? What would you answer that with? So that gives me an idea.
Oh, nice. Okay. Good one. I don't know, like in general, like people don't know, but like my wife, she thinks that I'm discouraged. But like, so there's an interesting thing, right? Like I am super organized, but maybe like at home, I'm not that great. So maybe that's where she's coming from.
Well, it's entrepreneurial organization. That's the answer, right? Because when it comes to business, you're highly organized, so you can take care of bills and shelter and the nice things. And then our brains are mentally drained by the end of the day if we're putting in long hours. Sometimes it's easy to let certain things go, like making the bed or just putting your clothes on the floor after a shower or whatever. So little things can float by, but those are little things. But yeah, no, that's a good one. Okay, so then let me go back to mine. I'm going to make it like more of a joke, I guess, that I believe to be true that not the rest of the world does. I feel like I'm good looking. My friend and I would joke around and like say like, hey, you have a face made for radio, not like attacking each other, but like kind of saying like you should be behind the scenes, not in the front of the scene.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, definitely. We are leaning up towards the end of the episode. I wanted to say for you guys listening, when it comes to that offer that Rahul's got, if you go to that page, highlevelexperience.com/GSD, you'll also get to explore a couple of my lead magnet that you might like, especially if you run SaaS. So definitely check it. Now, that aside, if you had to this is a good one. What do you wish you had known before when you started your agency, your SaaSpreneur journey?
There's something I wish I did differently. I wish I didn't go to college. I wish I worked for my family's business. And the things I wish I would have known sooner is spend more money on marketing earlier because it's only going to get harder, more fierce, more expensive, more competitive. And before that is this is how stupid I was. I was a do-it-all mentality, even though I was a soccer player where I'm used to camaraderie in a team. But in business, somehow my brain turned into Allen Iverson. Just give me the ball. I'll take care of the rest. I wish I would have hired a number two right as soon as I can afford that person that can run my business for me. So I can just go out, do my deal making, because I did it all. I did the deal making all day and I did all the delivery all night. I did all the outsourcing, the finding the people on websites like guru.com before Upwork was even a thing. There wasn't as many freelance sites. I didn't sleep, honestly, for 5 years very well, because I was sleeping in an office, on a couch, on the floor, showering disgustingly, maybe 2 to 3 times a week because I was always at work. And I did it all only for my own demise. It's a stupid way to do things. I thought the story was cool because I thought it would be cool to tell my friends, oh, I just worked 3 days straight, 24 hours in my office. They didn't give 2 fucks about that. No. So like, as an entrepreneur, you think, oh, those are bragging rights. It's like, no, dummy, you have the money to hire somebody. What the fuck are you doing? So I didn't do that. I screwed up.
The only thing you get out of it is that you build a stronger resilience, and that there is a power in that.
Yeah. No, definitely the power is that, but that was my mistakes. I spent too little money on the advertising side, and then I cheaped out on hiring the number 2 and hired really number 4 and 5s and basically volumed them to build a hybrid number 2, if you will. And then when I finally got a good number 2, I still kind of like chased them out from being a bad leader, if you will, with other people. And then I started to learn leadership and empathy and whatnot. So I fucked up a lot. Like I made so many big mistakes on good people leaving.
Too much micromanagement and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All those bad traits, and we all will have them. And leadership. That's a whole other topic on its own.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Takes time, I think. Any advice you'd like to give somebody looking to start their agency or to launch their SaaS?
Yeah, I mean, the whole podcast kind of diagrammed like the simplicity. If I was starting over today and I knew what tools were available, I would literally latch on to something like a Go Highlevel and just go sell it like crazy, because I look at it from 2 perspectives. Number one, you can buy a McDonald's and it could cost $1 million to buy a franchise. Then you have hiring, firing, inventory, and all that shit to deal with. Or you can buy something like a Highlevel, and then your overhead is really, really low and your income opportunity is really, really high. And best of all, the globe becomes your economy as far as sales targets until you find your niche, whether it's geographical or industry wise. And then you can just go sell like crazy, keep your overhead low, keep your life simple, keep your income high, and stack up mad recurring revenue. That would probably be my simplest advice is they built this system for people like you, people like me, people like Vit, where we can help. It's a community, it's a family, but your overhead's incredibly low. You can sell the same thing over and over. So many businesses are going out of business right now because they don't have this technology. So many new businesses are coming into business with legacy mentalities and not a tech forward background. They don't teach it in school. They may not have it. And you have a huge, huge opportunity to be able to sell something that people already need and want.
I like that. I do have an opinion on this topic though. And I spoke to a mate of mine. We went for beers and we talked about it. He runs a SaaS agency. He says, I'm seeing a lot of these young ones, like a lot of people now, like are flooding the market because it's such a low entry, such an easy to sign up for Highlevel, start selling it. But a lot of them do a poor job at keeping the customers. They get them, and then the customers don't really get any education. They don't know what to do because it's such a behemoth. There's so many features. There's no path. Nobody's guiding them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that it does ruin this industry in a way where the people have bad experience. They might think, oh, everybody's like that. So that's the only thing I would say is like, it is an excellent opportunity, but I think, yes, it's not expensive to get into. But where the expense, I think it needs to come into consideration is you need to learn how the software works, or you need to hire somebody that knows how it works. There are really good, certification programs now, but you definitely need to learn the product. Because once you start selling the SaaS, if it's just SaaS, either way, the customers need to be onboarded. Customers need to, be shown around, right? What do you think?
Absolutely. Educate yourself. This isn't a turn and burn business. And that's why keeping it simple allows you to get a fast forward approach by selling the 1-2 features as you start to learn the next features, even if you even want to, because you can probably make a huge living off just missed call text backs, just Google reviews, just adding a chat widget, or just doing the database reactivations. when you combine them all together, you got the core four. Master it, build your duplicatable workflows, meaning like a lot of people sell snapshots, customize it to your niche, your industry. There you go. Like Vit, like go to Vit's page, you'll see all the snapshots you could buy. Like think about like the overhead, like compare this, like you'll get an education through all the resources. So that's already there. Number two, you have a product that's so inexpensive in the grand scheme of running another business, like a traditional business. All you need is one multi-thousand, 5,000, 2,000, whatever dollar amount snapshot it is. And then you customize it. Now you have the biggest asset of value. You take the same thing, Vit build, and you go sell it to 100 people in a year or 50 people in a year. And now you have a wildly profitable business that was done by all other people, training you on how to use the machinery and operate the wheel of flying this machine. And it takes very, very little barrier to entry to learn this, and also just money to buy it. And you can have a very, very big thriving business, and the community of all the people at the top of those leaderboards and the people that you know, like, and trust that seem to tell the truth in their posts, they're evidence that this is all possible. And Highlevel's barely a baby. I mean, they're like 5, 6 years old. So they're just getting started. So you're about to jump on a train that's sort of moving, but it's growing with you. You're going to be a part of the whole entire journey of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Super exciting opportunity. I don't know if this is an overkill, but this extra question is basically, I was going to ask you, like, what would, like, if you were the listener listening to this episode that we just did, there's like one key things that you'd like for the listeners to walk away with after listening to this episode, what would that be?
Make your move. That's it. If you have dreams and goals and they haven't been reached, procrastination is your biggest enemy. Make your move.
I love that. That's great. And with that, let's close it off. Rahul, thank you so much for being on. We're at 1 hour and 22. So anytime I get an episode that's that long, that just goes to show we had good fun. I think we had good. Did I reach your target? Was it more fun than Rob Bailey?
Like, you know what? If Rob Bailey were on here, it would ruin the episode. I'm just kidding. Whoever heard this part, if you got this far, tag Rob and tell him Rahul said he loves you.
I love it.
Before we go, I'm going to take a picture of us, right? So on.
Oh, yeah, I always forget that, mate. That's good. Yeah.
All right, ready? I'm going to take a picture of my phone, then a screenshot from my computer. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's do a quick little screenshot.
Yeah, cool. Is that for show socials, is it?
Yeah, I'll post it. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. All right. Well, let me close this. Rahul, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for sharing your experience and some really good, valuable advice for all of you guys listening. Thank you for listening to today's episode on High-Level Experience. If you've enjoyed today's episode, then please share it with other fellow agency mates and other high-levelers that you think would also benefit from listening. For show notes, links, and extra tips to help you grow your agency or your SaaS with Highlevel, please go to highlevelexperience.com. And to find out more about today's offer that Rahul has, head over to highlevelexperience.com/GSD. Get shit done. GSD /GSD. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.